Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Jared. I host a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. And I'm a socialist. And all that means is that I want equality for everyone. And that includes the removal of this two-tier justice system that we clearly are living in at this point. I also want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. That that's it. That's a socialist. I know you're a socialist. Like you just figured that out. You're like, holy shit, like Jared, I agree. I want all those things. I'm also pro-union. And did you know if you're a socialist and you're pro-union and you recognize that the people that are probably best to be political leaders are union leaders? Because union leaders, right, are trying to fight for their subordinates and coworkers and friends to get better pay and benefits, right? Like raising the minimum wage, things like this, and actually getting better health care for their people. Excuse me. I want to make this video today because I keep seeing shadow boxes. And if you don't know, and these are shadow boxes for veterans that are no longer with us. And this isn't one of those veterans in crisis videos. This isn't one of those 22 a day videos. I'm not trying to sell you anything. But along with those shadow boxes, I saw he never talked about it. And I can even empathize with people's frustration with the VA healthcare system as it stands. As someone who's a disabled veteran, I can fucking empathize with you regardless. I just wanted you to know that I empathize with you if especially with other veterans, especially with veterans that don't want to talk about what happened while they was on active duty, or didn't want to talk about what they did while they were in a service. And I empathize with people that say I didn't talk about it. Look at the VA healthcare system. Who was I going to talk to? Who was going to? I'll empathize with you and say that thank you for your service, and I'm just glad you're here. And I work with veterans a lot. It's part of every job I've ever had. I just attract other veterans, whether it's as coworkers or as clients. Everywhere I've ever worked. Yesterday, I closed 2 accounts and they were both veterans. And lifetime probably hitting like 80 or 90% on vets. And these are just some observations, and it's gonna bristle people's ass. People are gonna be salty as fuck. But I'm a fucking Marine infantryman, so this is me talking my shit too. I've met many men that are in positions of power, white men. When they talk about their time in service, they say shit like, I took this job so I didn't have to join the infantry. I took this job so I wouldn't get deployed. I took this job because it would keep me away from the fight. And then I get this little smile on my face. Mm-hmm. And what happened when you tried to avoid that fight? I got sent into it anyway. Marine Corps infantry. Knew it was coming. Rather than be a fucking bullet sponge, I chose to be the tip of the spear. Do or die. Semper Fi. So now imagine that you just interviewed me for a job. After you told me that when you joined the military to be an MP, it was to avoid the front line and to avoid combat and contact and deployment. You just want to stay here. You just want to half-ass serve. And how that person, I can't even tell you what their job is. I don't know them like that. But he ain't the only one. I've met a bunch of them, a bunch of motherfucking people. So no wonder they don't want to talk about it. Because whether they signed up for that shit or not, look around. Look at the climate that we're in right now. Are you surprised at 22 a day? I'm not shocked at all. And are you surprised that people don't talk about their time of service? Not the fuck at all. Not shocked at all that people, that mum's the fucking word. Not shocked at all. I'm beyond shocked. It's called PTSD. You should try it. Actually, should not. No one should fucking live like this. But when you've lost everything and everyone, this is what you get. So I'll tell you, as again, this administration is actively threatening SSDI or Social Security, SNAP, Medicaid, Medicare. Like I said, Social Security is the biggest affront, right? The threat of the loss of Social Security is dire. People will die. And so, like, I get it. We don't give a fuck about veterans. I know that for a fact. That people don't give a fuck about veterans. That we got to give a fuck about each other. That I am naturally drawn to other veterans. Because we can understand one another. We know what hard work is. We know what it means to be a part of a team. We know what it means when it's life and death, right? It's an actual job. Mm-hmm. So shout out to all my fellow veterans. I fucking love you. I fuck with you. Unless you're a fucking Trumper at this point, I just can't. Right? I just if you're a veteran and you're like all about this shit, or this regime, can't do it. Don't even bother. I don't understand. I don't want to. Stay the fuck away from me. Okay? In fact, as a fellow veteran, if I tell you that I'm a socialist and that I just want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing, and you're a veteran, and you see me as your adversary, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. I just want you to die in peace. Maybe that's why, right? Maybe that's why veterans off themselves at such a high clip. Is because no matter what you do for your country, war is imminent. World war is imminent. Global war is imminent. The end of civilization is imminent. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's no turning back the midnight clock, right? And you know, I'll stand here on my pile of dirt and say we should have turned all our pew-pews into plowshares and just planted trees and grown gardens. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking. And now this machine's going to eat us. One way or the other. Either the damage we do to the environment or the system itself. This is real talk. One of the things that got slid across my plate is like, you got to make content that isn't political. Okay. I tried for 9 minutes. All I said was like, if you're a veteran and you fuck with Trump, I can't. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't understand. But other than that, just some thoughts. Maybe we ought to talk. Maybe we ought to talk about what it means. Like when you tell another veteran that I took this job in the military to avoid combat, avoid the front line, avoid deployment at all costs. And what happened? I got sent To the front lines. What'd you do? I was in 0351. I was in the Marine Corps Infantry, 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines Weapons Company. Fortunately, I was a fucking Humvee driver for a truck with a tow missile on it. Why? It was fucking awesome. A little loud. Other than that, hoorah. What's up? Why? And they're like, oh, yeah, I had no training, no workup. Hmm. And I keep hearing it over and over and over again. That story that I just told you. I joined the military took the specific job to avoid the front line. And they sent me there anyway. And you wonder why veterans off themselves at a high clip. Again, this is absolutely going to draw ire and make people upset. And it should. But not at me. I'm just the one confident enough to talk about this. I'm tired of looking at shadow boxes and reading under the description that I don't know what he did while he was on active duty or afterwards. I just know he was a very quiet man that never wanted to talk about what happened. Let's talk about it. I love you all.